Hello, my most beautiful besties in the entire world. For today's video, I am so excited because we have the brand new Odens Eye Cosmetics Christmas collection. We have the Rosy Jingle palette and we have the Silvery Bliss palette. I'm going to show you guys 4 different looks, tell you guys all about the palettes, and let you guys know whether or not I think these are worth it. So if you guys want to see all of that, how I did these looks plus 2 other looks, well then definitely keep on watching. Alrighty guys, so to kick off the 4 looks, we're going to start off with the Silver Bells, Silver Bells. This is the Silvery Bliss palette from Odens Eye. Now this actually does retail for $43.90 and it says, we are excited to announce the launch of our 2024 Christmas collection on November 10th, 2024. This collection includes 2 brand new eyeshadow palettes and a special Christmas themed hand mirror. Inspired by the joyful colors of Christmas bells, we created 2 distinct holiday themed palettes and the Silvery Bliss palette with bold red shades. This actually does have 16 shades in this palette, and I have to say, I am kind of like on the color story just because there's a lot of reds. There is a lot of reds, and you guys know I am not a red eyeshadow girly. Red lip all the way, but like a red eyeshadow, it's not my favorite to play with. Plus, when I see Silvery Bliss, I think that this is going to be like a silver themed palette, and there's just a lot of reds in here, so we're gonna see how I like this one. Now I'm gonna do 2 different eye looks with this palette, and then we're gonna do the Rosy Jingle, or do 2 different eye looks in that palette. This collection actually does like launch on November 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and as always, you guys can use code Allie D to save you guys 10% off this collection. I believe they're also going to be restocking the Snow Dream palette and the Hey Reindeer palette that they launched last year as well. So I think it's really cool that they're doing their Christmas themed palettes. I really love the first one that was like the, Merry Christmas and, Christmas Eve. Like, I still love this palette more than anything. So I think it's really cool that Odens is kind of jumping on board and continuing to release Christmas palettes every single year. But we'll see how I feel about this one, because this one I'm just kind of like, okay, this one does look a lot like Christmas. Like, this really does have a great Christmas feel to it. But it's a lot of reds. It's a lot of reds. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. They even have a shade right here called Chocolate Cake, and it's like a burgundy. That is not chocolate cake. Okay, so we're going to go into the shade right here called Vintage Memories. It's like this deep, like blood red. And we're going to put that right into our crease area, because I'm going to do, like I said, 2 different eye looks. I'm going to do like a red gold eye look and maybe like a cool tone forest green silver eye look. I'm trying to utilize as much shadows as I can from this palette. So we're going to put this right here. A lot of you guys have been asking me again about bling brushes. Y'all, I don't think this brand exists anymore, if I'm completely honest. I have not heard anything from them in a very long time. I have not seen any updates from them in a very long time. I just don't think that they are active as of now. I'm not saying that they're going to be gone forever, but as of right now, I just do not see them being active whatsoever. So I don't think we're getting a restock on my red brushes. And it makes me really sad, because these are still some of my favorite brushes, and I'm so sad that they're like just not around. I'll take right here the shade called Pure Red, and we're going to blend that very softly on top of that. Like, very lightly. All right, I have to ask, has anyone watched the show Agatha All Along? Because I think that was probably one of the best Marvel shows that Disney has ever created, and the down the road, down the witch's road has been stuck in my head for weeks on end. And this past week was the season finale, and oh my god, like legit, that was such a fantastic ending. If anyone's watched it, please let me know. Try to keep it spoil free though, but oh my god, let me know if you've seen it. I'll go back into that first shade just so we can put this in our outer corner. Right here, we're going to tap that in just very lightly, just right there. Okay, then I'm going to take the shade right here called Holiday Wishes. This is a really pretty like red shimmer, but it also has like gold reflex into it. I think it's really pretty. We're going to lay that like legit right here. Oh, it's kind of light. Should I lay down glitter glue? No. Okay, then I'm going to take the shade right here called Golden Glam. I do think like red and gold look absolutely stunning together. So we're going to put this shade right here. Oh my gosh, look at how pretty that is. That is such a beautiful shade. And then I'm going to take the shade right here called Pink Fantasy. I feel like this would be really, really, really pretty. It's like a gorgeous multi-chrome shade. It's so pretty. We're going to put this literally right here. Because I feel like that would just complement that, yeah. I'm trying to like channel Christmas colors. I don't know if I am, but we're gonna see how this ultimately like kind of like comes together. But we'll see if I can. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the other eye look. So I have to ask, what is everybody's like Christmas tradition? It's so crazy because I literally said the other day that Disney's already putting up all of their Christmas stuff, and some of you guys are in the comment section being like, Allie, girl, you can't talk shit because you are putting up fall decorations on August 1st. I'm like, you know what? Touche. I'm going to go into the shade right here. That's called Reminisce. It's like a green gray shade. And so I was like, damn, you guys kind of clocked me on that one. But I guess for me, the reason why I always get kind of bothered by it is because, like, what about Thanksgiving? You know what I mean? Like, I love Thanksgiving. I feel like Thanksgiving is a really, like, underrated holiday. For me, it's always been, like, not one of my absolute favorites, but kind of up there because I loved, as a kid, waking up on a Thursday morning. I can smell my parents cooking Thanksgiving food. I'd watch the Macy's Christmas Day Parade. My mom and I would my dad would put up the Christmas tree. My mom and I would decorate the Christmas tree, and my sister, if she was there. So it was like a tradition for us every year. Then we'd have Thanksgiving, and then I would go out Black Friday shopping. And it was like always like such like a big thing. Like I've always like loved doing this for years. Okay. So like for me, I've always loved Thanksgiving. Now when I moved out on my own, you know, things did kind of change. Like now I just go over to my parents' house on Thanksgiving, and then like I still do Black Friday shopping. But I just feel like people always forget like the joy of like Christmas or the joy of Thanksgiving. Now this year is going to be a little different because this is the first time in like 4 years that I'm probably going to be working on Thanksgiving. Now the good thing is about Disney is they do offer like a Thanksgiving feast for those that are working. Like they do provide like Thanksgiving, at least my place does, provides Thanksgiving food, and we don't have to pay for anything. It's like free, it's provided, which is really nice. But I mean, like, if I'm being honest, I'd prefer to be home. But it kind of, like, works out because Corey most likely is working that day, too. And so I just told my parents, I was like, we can just celebrate Thanksgiving on Friday. You know, it's going to be a little bit late, but, you know, at least we could still kind of, like, celebrate it together. And they were, like, completely fine with that. They totally understood. I'm going to go in the shade right here called Softness to help to keep blending that shade out. But it's weird because you guys know that, like, ever since, like, 2020 or like COVID time, I have pretty much been working from home. I've been a full-time content creator, but then this past year things have just been really rough here on YouTube. Things are just not what they once were. People kind of stopped either caring about makeup or just kind of went over to TikTok, you know, cared more about short form content. So views have definitely dwindled over here versus like other platforms. So the money isn't the same. So I had to go back to work, which is fine, you know, because I got to do what I got to do to survive. And so this will be the first time in like 4 years that I'm probably going to have to work on the holidays. And it's a little sad because like I really enjoyed having off the holidays with like my family and stuff like that. But since I work at Disney doesn't close. They only close for like hurricanes. But like other than that, they just don't close. So I'm probably going to have to work most likely, but we will see what ends up happening. So it's one of the reasons why I didn't do Vlogoween this year. It's another reason why I'm not doing like Vlogmas or anything like that. Because I just physically just don't have the time anymore like I once did. And it's sad, but you know, I am hoping that one day I can go back to being a full-time content creator. That would make me so freaking ecstatic if I can go back to full-time. Granted, I love, you know, working around people and stuff like that. It's nice to like have like human interaction again instead of always just like talking to a camera. Like I talk to you guys whenever you guys respond to my like videos. I talk to you guys in the comment section. But it's different like when I get to actually have like a human say hello right back instead of me going, hi. And then like, you know, hours later you guys are like, hello. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's kind of nice to have that human interaction too. It curbs the loneliness that does come with this job because this job can get really lonely. I feel like it's not really like talked about enough on here. So it's just really kind of nice to like have that job to, you know, interact people with. But like, I still do miss my holidays. All right, I'm going to take that same shade and we're just going to put that in the outer corner. We're going to put this right here. But this time it's different. Like all the other times I've had to work holidays, I was always a server. This time I work in an office. So this is a very different ballgame for me. It's something that I'm still just like not really like used to, and like how the office atmosphere works when it comes to the holidays, and just everything is like different. Like people get gifts for each other and stuff on birthdays and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's like a thing that we do? Because like I didn't know that. You know, I hadn't worked in an office in a very long time. I'm going to go in the shade right here called Longing. And so I haven't worked in an office in a really long time, so I didn't know that's like something that like you do. You give gifts, which is completely understandable, but like shit, I wish I'd known. Actually I'm gonna take the shade called Vision. Vision right here. I'm gonna lightly push this on the right here. Just right here. So yeah, I didn't know that people like do gifts and stuff like that. They like, you know, they celebrate the birthdays and whatnot. I'm like, oh, okay, so like now I know. Now I know that this is like what's done. Like I've never worked in an office before, so for me this is like so for me this is all brand new that they, you know, they celebrate these things together, and I think it's kind of exciting. It's really kind of exciting for me to see that, because like, you know, when I was serving, we just said, oh hey, happy birthday, but like we didn't do anything, you know what I mean? And then my jobs prior to that were working at like retail, and again we didn't do anything, you know what I mean? That shade, I'm gonna go into a shade right here called Silvery Bliss. Okay, so this is how the eye looks are looking. I, you know, am not seeing Christmas in the slightest. So it's a little disappointing for me. I don't know if it's because the colors I chose to work together or not, but I am just not getting the Christmas vibe. So I'm going to take the shade right here called New Year's End. We're going to line my upper waterline with that so I can put on my false lashes. We're going to come back to the makeup done. Then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this palette before we move on to palette number 2. Okay, so now that the eyes are somewhat done, we're going to go back in. So to finish off this under eye, we're going to go into the shade right here called Chocolate Cake. Like I said, this is like a burgundy, and it's kind of titled Chocolate Cake. I don't think it's the right shade color for it, but we're going to lightly just go right under here. I'm not going to lie, like from the aesthetics of this palette, like the outside packaging stuff, I can see Christmas, but after playing with this, I really just don't get the true Christmas vibes, and it could just be me picking the wrong combination. But I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You guys think this fits the Christmas vibe? Let me know. And then I'm gonna take the shade right here called Wishful Dreams to blend that out. Okay, so for this eye, we're gonna go into the shade right here called Cocoa Milk. We're gonna go right underneath. Okay, so I just threw on some white liner. Now we're going to go into the shade right here called Silver Stream, and we're going to put that in the inner corner and brow bone for both eyes. So I'm just going to lightly go in right here. It's like a really pretty like duochrome shade. It's really pretty. Go like just right here with that. Okay, let me just throw on just like a neutral, like, I was going to do a red lip, but I don't know if I would look good with this. I'm just going to throw on like a neutral like matte brown lip. And then I'll be right on back to give you guys my thoughts on this palette. Okay guys, so here are the 2 looks using the Silvery Bliss palette from Odens Eye. I have to say, the formula in this palette is just incredible. I love Odens Eye formula. Their mattes are just so easy to work with. They're so blendable. They're definitely really pigmented. There isn't as much fallout on the face. There's some kick up in the pan, but not in the face, which is really nice. And the shimmers are just a really beautiful quality. But for me personally, I think that this outside packaging is just stunning. I absolutely love the outside packaging. I think it fits the Christmas theme. And the color story looks like it would be kind of Christmassy, but I guess I just don't see it. Like after doing these 2 eye looks, I don't see Christmas whatsoever. And honestly, it could be my fault for the colors that I chose, the look that I chose to do. That's why I'm kind of like going, I don't necessarily see Christmas, but you know, I want to do something a little different. I want to play some reds. I want to try to do some of the greens in here, but I just feel like there's a little bit too many reds and not enough other colors to really kind of go with it. Maybe there should have been like some blues in here, some more silver shades in here. If you're going to do like a Silvery Bliss, I'm kind of thinking of white, blue, gray, gold, silver, kind of like they did with the Christmas Eve palette. But it's a great formula. It's just for me, the color story is just not really it in my opinion. But like I said, it could just be me with the combination that I chose to put, with the colors I chose to put together. Maybe that's why I'm not feeling the Christmas vibe. But the palette itself works really beautifully. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the Rosy Jingle palette. Alrighty guys, on to look number, I guess 3 and 4, but technically on to the Rosy Jingle palette. So this palette says, we're excited to announce the launch of our 2024 Christmas collection on November 10th, 2024. This collection includes 2 brand new eyeshadow palettes and a special Christmas themed hand mirror. Inspired by the joyful colors of Christmas bells, we created 2 distinct holiday themed palettes. The Rosy Jingle palette featuring soft pink tones and the Silvery Bliss palette with bold red shades. Literally, I just read the same thing as the Silvery Bliss palette because that's pretty much the description that we have for the Rosy Jingle. So I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw the Rosy Jingle palette, I was like, this looks like a spring palette. I do not see Christmas in this whatsoever. I see spring, but that's just me and my personal opinion. I'm trying to grasp the spring feel, but like, I'm trying to grasp the Christmassy feel, but like, I don't see it. I don't see it, but I would love to see it. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 different eye looks today. I know I want to play with like some of like the browns and like this beautiful shade right here called Celebration Heart. Like this is such a gorgeous, stunning like multi-chrome. Ugh, I live. And then I do want to play with some of like the shades like down here. Like look at how pretty these shades are. Oh my God, yes. Like these are stunning. So I want to play with these shades right here. So let's go ahead and prep my eye. We're going to go in with the Sigma. Oh my God. This Sigma eye base right here. Just throw it at myself. Okay. So I'm going to go into this shade right here called Warmth right here. We're just going to put that in our crease shade. So I need to tell you guys about how this morning I went out to go vote, because I did go vote this morning. And as I was leaving my complex, first off, they're working on the road in my complex. So they blocked off one whole side of the road. So you can't necessarily drive in without driving down the exit lane. So if one car is coming out the exit and you're trying to go to the entrance, like one of y'all are going to have to back up because it's not feasible what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but they're making it very difficult for us to leave and come back. So I left to go vote this morning. And it was a long morning. Okay, let me tell you. So as I left my complex, I let a car go in front of me because I was like, oh, here, you can go. You were sitting here first. Why don't you go ahead and go? That's a really pretty color, by the way. So I let them go, and then I'm driving down the road, and there's like a complex that's like for sale next to me. And I don't know why, y'all, this car dead ass stopped right in front of me. Like just came to a dead stop and then quickly went to turn into a parking spot. I literally almost rear-ended them. I'm going to go into the shade right here called Gentle Memories. I literally almost reared into them, and I had to slam on my brakes so hard and swerve off to the side because they just stopped out of nowhere. And then they had the audacity to turn around and be like, I'm like, you stopped in the middle of the road. I almost ran into you. Like I was just like so floored because I never told this story, because it's a little embarrassing to say, but like 2 months ago, I did get into a small car accident. I never talked about it, but I got into a small car accident. Now this one was absolutely 1,000% my fault. Luckily, I was in my husband's car, not my own. So I went to my friend Cody's house, and I was leaving late at night, and we were just like sitting there talking about makeup and everything that. And then I backed out of the driveway, and I'm looking both ways like this, like as one does. And as I back up, I accidentally hit the car that was parked on the street across from Cody's house, because it's like a really small, like little road that pretty much if a car is parked on the road, it goes down to like one lane. It's very, very not the easiest thing to get out of. So I backed into the person's freaking car. And so we had to go get insurance and everything that involved. But I felt so bad because apparently they just bought that car. They literally just bought that car, and I kind of hit into their door. And I was like, oh my God, no. So that was the first time in like 20 years I've ever had to go through my insurance to make sure that I can get this person's car taken care of. And I did, but I was just like, oh my God, I've never actually, well, I have been in accidents before, back when I was like 18, but they were never my fault. This one was 1,000% my fault because, like I said, I ran straight into someone's freaking car door. And thank God it was just me and me alone that was involved. But still, I was so embarrassed. Unfortunately for me, my friend Cody has it on freaking camera of me doing it too. And I was just like, oh my God. We both laughed about it because he's like, oh my God, look at you, look at you. We both did have a good laugh about it. But anyway, so then when I saw this happening, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to freaking run into this person. And then I was like, okay, let me just go about my day. So then I drive down to the voting location, I get in my car and they ask to go see my ID and scan me in, and they go, "Oh, you're at the wrong precinct. You have to go to this precinct." And I was like, "But I voted here before." And they're like, "Yeah, you can vote here for early voting, but not for the day of the like not for the actual general election." I was like, "Okay." So I had to go another 30 minutes out of the way to go to my precinct, and then as I'm driving, tell me how this white pickup truck just dead ass cuts right in front of me because they want to go. I'm like the middle lane. They want to go to the left lane to go turn left. Cuts dead ass right in front of me, and I have to slam my brakes again. And then they were like, "Oh," I'm like, "I need to get off this road, okay?" Because one, it's causing me I'm getting like freaking car rage, and then two, clearly the universe is telling me just to go home, but I did my civic duty. I went and voted, and yeah. But still, it was just a long, a long morning. And I'm finally home to sit down and film. So now that's laid down, I want to go into the shade right here called Toffet. Toffeet? I don't know, but it seems like it's a cream to powder because it looks really creamy. But hopefully it goes on powdery. I'm not the biggest fan of those type of formulas, but I feel like they'd be really pretty colors. So we're just going to stamp this literally right here. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that lack of pigment. Okay. Let's try to build it up. It is like a creamy to powder. Maybe I just apply it with my finger. That'd be better. Yeah, that's better. That's so weird. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of those type of formulas. So I'm trying to get this to lay down. Like I said, I think it's like one of their cream to powder formulas. I'm not really sure. It just looks more like a weird powdered version. I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan, but that's okay because we're going to go into the shade right here called Golden Bell. We're going to go in right here. You know what's so funny is that yesterday I met with my neighbor upstairs. I freaking love them. They are just like the sweetest people ever. And so I was asking Allison, if you're watching, hi. I was asking her if like she ever hears me singing or like if her parents ever hear me singing. They say they don't hear me, but like I am always so paranoid because I do not have a voice, okay? Like I do not have a voice at all. And I always sing for you guys. And I've had people literally in my comment section saying,
"If you sing one more time, I'm unsubscribing."
and I want to be like, "Well, here's the button. I'll do it for you." You know what I mean? Because I don't ever want to stop. I never once said I had a singing voice. I just like to sing because it's fun. Like I have fun doing it. And so I'm always petrified that she is going to like hear me or like her parents are going to hear me. She says they don't, but like it's always in the back of my head of like, what if this is the time that they're in the hallway and they hear me going, "Silver bells." You know what I mean? Like how weird would that sound if you're like listening to like your neighbor like singing. Because I remember when I lived in my first apartment with Corey, my very first apartment, this shade is just shitty. I'm trying to put it back on that brown shade to blend these together. Anyway, remember my first apartment with Corey, we lived on the 3rd floor, and I could tell that they were kind of like poorly built because we can hear our downstairs neighbor just living, and I can hear the neighbor behind me just living life. Anyway, so there was a day that our neighbor that lived behind us had really, 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 really horrible bowel movement because we literally heard everything. Now, granted, we were 21, so we were kind of assholes, and Corey put on a fart machine noise, and he was putting it against the wall, being like, "You got this, bro. You got this. We're cheering you on." It was so weird that we did that. I don't know why we did that. Looking back at it now, I'm like, damn, we're kind of dicks, right? But the worst part is that like we had a balcony. We can just literally just poke our head over the balcony and we can see into our neighbor's apartment. It was the weirdest thing because this guy used to sit there in just his boxers, legs spread, just watching TV. He always had his door open so you can always just see and hear everything that he was doing. Man, I forgot about those days. I'm going to go into the shade right here called Celebration Heart. Such a beautiful shade. I forgot about those days. This is just absolutely stunning. But yeah, so like I'm always petrified that like my neighbors would always like be able to hear me because when we lived in our 1-bedroom here, we heard our neighbors beside us fighting one time. Literally fighting because this guy, I guess, was out of a job and he was staying home doing nothing, not cleaning the house, not contributing. All he did was play video games and smoke weed all day. And we can literally hear sitting on our couch coming from our kitchen just this screaming match between those two. And I'm just like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like that was also the same exact apartment that we used to hear our neighbors from behind us having an affair on her husband. I guess that's one positive thing about living in an apartment, the things you see in here. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I wonder if you guys can see. So you guys can see like the multi-chrome of this shadow. I don't know if it's coming off on camera well, but it is so freaking pretty. And I don't know if you guys can see it. It's not coming off on camera, but that's the multi-chrome, and I have it literally right here, and it's just not coming up on camera very well, but it is really, really, really pretty. Definitely more of like a neutral eye moment with like a little green reflect to it. So now we're gonna do like a more like beautiful like lavender style look. All right, I'm gonna go right here into the shade called Blue Ocean, and we're gonna put that in our crease area. This is beautiful like lavender purple. It's so pretty. Again, I don't necessarily see Christmas with this shade, but I guess it's up to each person how they view Christmas. It is kind of nice. I was talking to my friend Betty Jean about this, and she even said that like she kind of likes it when there's like a different color story to a Christmas themed palette and not just like typical red, green, and gold. That it's kind of nice to have it be a little bit different, which I can totally understand. But when I look at this one, I do just see spring. All right, then I'm going to take the shade right here called Pink Dream to blend on top of that. All right, now I take that same purple shade and we're just going to do it right here in the outer corner, just like so. I'm going to take this beautiful shade right here called Pure Silver. Although this looks more like icy purple silver than silver, but it is really pretty. And we're going to start to just put this, oh my God, that is so gorgeous. Right here. All right, and then I'm gonna take this beautiful shade right here called Dreamy, and we're gonna put that right next to that. That is a beautiful, like another like multi-chrome. Like, it's stunning. Put that right here. This has like yellow reflex to it. It is so pretty. Okay, so here's how both eye looks are looking. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to just throw on just some half lashes, do the rest of my face. We're going to come back to do the under eye together, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this palette. Okay, so to finish off the eyes, I kind of am stumped on what to do. Oh my God. Okay, so I think for this eye, I think I might just go in with this yellow one called Joyful. Joyful and triumphant. Okay, so we're just gonna lay this right here. This is a very, very light color. Like I said, I'm kind of stumped on how this is a Christmas palette, but that's just me. And then I'm gonna take the shade right here called Radiant, and we're gonna put this in our inner corner. I'm gonna put this right here. That is gorgeous. And then I'm gonna take the shade right here called New Year Wishes, and we're gonna put that on our brow bone. Okay, and then for this eye, I think for like underneath, I'm just gonna go back into that same little purple shade. Just like right here. And I think I'm just gonna throw on some white liner to complement both eye looks. And then for the inner corner right here, I think I'll just use this shade right here called Celebration Heart, because I don't really know what else to do for that. So we'll just put this, yeah, right here. All right, guys, and here is the final look using the Rosy Jingle palette. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys out and give you guys my thoughts on this collection. Alrighty, guys, so here is the final look using the Rosy Jingle palette. I have to say, I think both eye looks are absolutely gorgeous. I feel like I can get away with either or. I feel like both kind of stand out on their own. I think they're really, really, really beautiful. I think you can create just like beautiful like everyday eye looks when using this palette. If I had to choose which one I like more, probably this side just a little bit more, but I think both are really beautiful on their own. These palettes do retail for $43.90 each, and I have to say, I do think that they are pretty palettes. Are they Christmassy palettes? In my opinion, no. The outside packaging, sure, but the color stories on the inside, while this one definitely looks more Christmassy, I just feel like it has a little bit too much reds for me. But the formula in here works incredible. Like the mattes are super pigmented and blendable, and the shimmers are just absolutely gorgeous. So I won't say anything bad about like the formula, the color story, or anything. I won't say anything bad about the formula or anything like that. It's just for me, I just wish there was a little bit more variation in terms of this palette. And then when it comes to the Rosy Jingle palette, this just looks more like a spring palette. I don't see Christmassy in it at all, but I think this is a beautiful like everyday everyday palette. Even though there's definitely full of colors, I feel like you can do so much with them because they're like light, soft pastel shades you can get a lot of use out of. So this collection will be launching on November 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, you guys can use code AllieD to save you guys 10% off. They do retail for $43.90 a piece. I don't know if there's going to be a bundle or not. There may or may not be. But I will say I love having a good Christmas palette. While they're not fully Christmas in my opinion, they're still really fun to play with. So I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you guys think that these are Christmassy? Let me know. But with that said, that is it for today's video. If you guys like today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. So I do post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures with my amazing husband, Corey. I almost looked this way. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in my very next Wednesday, my very next video.